So, if you're sitting in the same boat as me, you're probably enjoying the game a lot, but there are some things that you want to change, some things that you would like to see coming in set 2. So, yeah, in this video, we're going to talk about my top wants going into set 2 in the next meta. Welcome back to UniX TCG, and today we are, like the title says, going over my top wants for the set 2 Blazing Aura meta. Now, right before we get into that, I just want to set this video with another 100 like goal. You guys have been great on the support. I'd also like to let you guys know that about 10 p.m. Eastern time, I will be streaming here in Twitch more Dragon Ball Super client, so if you want to jump in on that, just holla at your boy. And then I also want to let you guys know that I am still rocking these sponsors. We got Mystic TCG, which is one of the best stores in the United States, also followed by G3, which is actually the best store in Canada. So if you want to get products from either of them to suit your TCG needs, they have all the relevant TCGs and more. Just go down in the description, use my code, and get your favorite products with some money off. So it's time to hop into the content. So to talk about what I want for Blazing Aura, we have to do a quick recap of Awakened Pulse. So to go over this, we're in this weird space where the 4 colors are close-ish, but there are some key imbalances that are going to really mess this up. To move away from the elephant in the room, we're gonna immediately get green out of the way. Green is at a point where its early game allows lots of colors to do what they want to do unhindered, but its late game generally spirals into this snowball of inevitability, and if the game goes on too long, green just naturally wins it for the most part. Their boss card, Broly 8, is very powerful, too powerful, does too many things, and there is a bit of imbalance there. Now, that being said, green can still die in the early game into the late game. Green can still get hammered and then get killed off as they get into their last bit of turns and their best cards. I just dropped my first Patreon article for this game. It is a 30-pager on breaking down green, the cards it employs, the philosophy behind the playing, hands to take, sequences, matchup guides, all of that. So if you guys are looking for some really meaty in-depth content, there's going to be an abridged video version that comes out later after my Patreon article has a time to breathe, but this is what I excel at. You have all of my testing put into a 30-page article over there. So if you want to go there, the link will be in the description. Just, hop in. But past that, there's a lot to go over, and in the future weeks we are going to be voting on which colors you guys like me to deep dive into next on the Patreon. But when you go past green, you have yellow, and yellow is the most well-rounded color in my opinion. It has early game aggro, mid game aggro, late game bombs, utility. It pretty much does it all. The only thing that I have to put against it is that yellow is just the way it's crafted. It's pretty much open to every piece of removal in the game. Red often is able to 1-for-1 your cards while leaving behind a body using like SR Goku and other things. Beerus is a full clear if they use SR Beerus. You have a lot of 20k, so you're less susceptible to the secret rare a lot. Meanwhile, green is popping your stuff left and right with Vegeta, Android 17 and 18, the SCR. 5-drop Gohan destroys your boss cards outside of Gold and Frieza, and then SCR Gohan, there isn't a single card in yellow that can survive the on-play effect. So yellow is extremely well-rounded, but yellow also has 0 protection when it comes to its board. So you really have to kind of work on that. That's like, you have to work around that. You have to be knowledgeable. You can't commit too much to the board, and because you can pretty much get swept up at any time. Then you have red, and I think red is super simplistic but super strong. There are some openings in red that involve Master Roshi and hit where you know you're going to awaken, you know you're going to get the press on your opponent, and you know you're going to be applying that pressure. They have the ability to swing at you quite well because they have a lot of valuable cards. Between the vanillas that can get boosted by U7 Goku or Starter Goku, the good 20k swingers, the promo Goku that's a 25k that goes up, there's just a lot you can do with that. And so I do believe that we are sitting at a position where red can play pretty much against any color. It's one of the only colors that can remove Broly 8 outside of Broly 8 himself. Yes, they have to use multiple cards at a time, but it is what it is. They have a lot of good curves when it comes to awakening. They can apply pressure while removing your field, and that's actually very important. And then you have Blue, and Blue is just stuck in this weird position where it has a lot of plays, but it just has a lot of trouble finishing out the game. Because of Blue's nature, having to keep the 7 cards in hand and the peel-off combo, you end up splitting your board combo power, your combo power between the field and your hand, which can be disastrous in the face of destruction, but at the same time, it also makes closing out game a little odd. You don't have like the same properties that some other decks do. Also, Blue is often in a weird stage in Bandai games where at first they start returning things to hand and a couple cards return things to the bottom of the deck, or bounce them to the bottom of the deck, but then eventually more effects do that, and that's when Blue really starts to get good because it actually has removal, not just resetting a card that your opponent can play the following turn. So we're still in the early stages of that. They still need to transition into super removal. So when it also comes to these sort of things, Blue is kind of in last place, mainly because while Green sees, one of the main warping cards of the format is 8-drop Broly, and while Green is able to blow it up with their own Brolys, Yellow is able to tap it down with their Golden Freezes and Goldos, Red is able to destroy it by minusing its power to 0, Blue just has to stare at it, and no deck can out-combo that card more than 2 to 3 times, Blue maybe 4 times, but it's just rough, it's very rough. So with that being said, it is time to tell you guys about my wants for set 2 Blazing Aura. So when it comes to what I want from a Blazing Aura, I think what I have to start with is still Green again. And it's gonna maybe not be what people think it's gonna be. So with Green, in the terms of power, I think that they don't need any more. Everything that they get in set 2 should be a horizontal shift in utility, in usage, not an upward, not a vertical shift in power. I think they already have all the power they're going to need. In fact, I actually would advocate that Broly 8 should be limited to 2 or limited to 1, because it's just an oppressive card when it's seen back to back to back, and it even warps the mirror match. Green as a whole is not the reason why Green is beating other decks. It's Broly 8 and Gigantic Meteor being a 1 energy massive 25k swing combo power. If Broly was a 1 of and we had some better design going into the future, I think that Green would be a much more palpable color and it would be in line automatically with its other people. So when it comes to this future design, I think we've already kind of sleuthed out a fair amount. We have a Cell Leader that when you're at 5, you can go up 1 energy. If you had no way of getting back down to 5, his effect would only be used once. And there's been some debate with some commenters, viewers that have been saying that that's enough. I personally don't think that is enough. I would like to see a leader get its effect multiple times throughout a game. Otherwise, it's just kind of a one-shot pony, and that one shot needs to be very strong, and that's hard to balance because it's either too strong or it's too weak at that point. Now, when we go into some of the other spoilers, we've seen the Cell Junior. And this Cell Junior has said that if you have an 8 cost or higher cell, plop it on the field for free. Now, the thing about this is this, for me, kind of gives me a signal that if we have an 8 cost cell, he's probably going to have a very good effect, but he's also going to probably trash, send 3 of your energy to the drop. And that's going to allow you to be back at the 5 threshold for Cell to activate its effect and bring you up to 6. I personally like this. And the reason why I like this, if this is going to be the case, is that I think that Green needs drawbacks. I don't mind Green having very, very strong effects of cards that come on the board, but I need Green to not be able to repeatedly play them. You don't normally die from just the first Broly. The first Broly can be tapped down by Golden Freezer. The first Broly can be removed by Red. The first Broly can be stared at intensely by Blue for the rest of the game. But it's the second Broly that will generally put your game into the trash can. So if Cell does bring you down to 5 and then you go up to 6 with the Cell Leader ability, that means that your next turn you would have to ramp once, and then your following turn you have to charge back up to 8. And then after charging back up to 8, you could play this another Cell again. And I think that would be a good scheme. It prevents you from just building energy and having not only your boss card, but Gigantic Meteor on deck. I think that there's a lot of things that you can do here, and I think that's a better design space. Now, when it comes to power, that is my wish. I do want them to go horizontally, not vertically. I do want there to be more utility, not power, because they're already powerful. However, there is one thing in consistency that I would like to change. And I know lots of people might groan over this, but destructive strength in the 3-drop slot is not exactly okay. And what I mean by that is that the 4 of that you have to play 4 of, it's hard to play a card like Moa because Moa can easily miss. You generally only have 7 to 4 targets unless you want to saturate your deck with extras, which can be very dangerous on the turns where you're curving out. So destructive strength is a 4 of that you can't necessarily just fish out, but you often miss it. And especially when you're in the mirror, when you're playing against other decks, it's not as bad. When you're playing against yellow, well, yellow can put you in a hard spot, but yellow, blue, red, it's not as bad. But when you're playing in the mirror and you miss destructive strength, it almost, and your opponent doesn't, it almost gives them like an irrevocable like slide into winning advantage. It is very, very, very gross as a card that it just that pivotal, just going from 3 to 4 or from 2 to 3 going second can really, really, really influence the rest of the game, no matter how many turns come after that. So when it comes to destructive strength, I would like a supplement. I would like another 3-cost 1 ramp card. Maybe it has to drop a card from your hand to ramp, like the 4-cost promo Goku, less advantageous or less efficient than destructive strength. However, I still would like another 3-drop ramp that we could play in the deck to make it more consistent, because like I said before, it's not the ramp that's winning the games, it's what you play with the ramp. And what you have with the ramp is 8-drop Broly, who is ignorant, 8-drop Broly swinging, and then you having Gigantic Meteor to back you up. Those are what push green over the top. But the ramp itself, I would rather not have a deck just literally open up mulligan and be like, well crap, I think I just lose, because they are playing into the mirror and they don't have destructive strength. I think that's a little arbitrary, and I would like that to go. From what we've seen so far, if Cell does minus, Cell Jr. bringing back an extra card may not be the boon that everybody thinks it is, because you're going down on Dawn, and yes, you could probably use like Gigantic Meteor the following turn, but if you get back up to 8 and you want to use your leader ability, I guess you do have to use, Cell. That's probably why they do it, because you're using Cell, you might go down, you play Cell Jr., who is 1,000 or 10,000 combo, and you get back a Gigantic Meteor and you have an energy up that you got from your Cell ability. So that's probably why they did it, so you're not like just completely cheeks to the wind once you use it. But that's pretty much my wishes for green. Now, moving over to yellow, which is arguably either the best or tied for best or second best color, it's just up there. They really do it all. So when it comes to yellow, it's very hard to have a wish list, because honestly, just keep doing what you're doing, Bandai. Yellow is so well rounded. It is open to all forms of destruction, but it has so many forms of play. It can pressure in so many different ways. It has so much utility. So realistically, just keep doing what you're doing. Give more options, more cool ways to deck build and pilot. If I had to name a hard want, a 6-drop. I want a card that does not get wasted by Gohan SCR. When I need a card that they have to drop their top end to destroy. Like, it is not cash money that green can tap 5 and blow up your both of your SRs outside, both of your deck, your set SRs. They can't stop the Golden Frieza, but Golden Frieza is just, of course, a Sun Gohan SCR away from just getting evaporated. So I would like it if they had some cards that were a little stickier, and maybe a little bit more removal. We just saw that they got the Awakening to Blue, I think that's the name of the card, but it's going to be able to destroy a rested 6-drop or higher, so that's going to be great for Broly and for androids and for Sun Gohan SCR. So far, it doesn't affect any other color, except I guess it does kind of affect Goku Black. That's an unfortunate casualty, because that card was definitely made for Broly 8, but it's going to catch Goku Black as well, which is fine. Then you have, yeah, that's really it. Just destruction for some tapped cards. Death Beam, or the Golden Death Beam, that was far too underpowered. I think Golden Death Beam could have destroyed a rested 4-drop and cost 2, and I would have been happy about that. I definitely think that it was not good enough as a 3 cost or less for 1, because that really only affects certain decks, and with green running around the way it is, it's never going to affect the deck that you want the most help with. So there. Then yeah, that's pretty much simple. Then you have red. Red is very much so almost in the same position as keep doing what you're doing, but my biggest want for red is actually already happening. With the new Goku, you see that he's able to put cards into play for 1 energy. And now we've seen Kefla being able to cheat in another TOP card. So we just need to keep seeing more TOP cards. Like, there is just this room, this realm where you just open up like 2 Roshi in Goku and you go second, and you play Roshi, activate his ability, take a life, play another Roshi with the marker, use his ability, take a life, and your opponent goes, yeah, I'm not swinging on that. And so your following turn, you draw, you charge up to 2, you activate both Roshi effects again, and you have seen legitimately, like, from drawing for turn, attacking with your leader, Roshi from life, or Roshi taking life, drawing for turn, Roshi taking life, and drawing with leader. You've seen 8 cards. You have the potential of seeing your 3rd Roshi, or maybe if they give us another 1-drop Self Awakener. If you see that 3rd Roshi, you play that 3rd Roshi with your first of 2 energy, you take 1 more life, bam, you are at 3 life. You flip over, you draw a card, and then you can discard a card, pay your last energy to play Kefla, and then Kefla can play another body, and then you have your leader swing. Well, if you haven't used it already, you have your leader swing, the Kefla, and another card. That's insane to me. That's turn 2. There is just a lot that can go on here, and I think red next set will actually become a superior aggro deck to yellow. So I am super excited. Red essentially is doing exactly what I want from them. I would like some control cards for Beerus. I think like an activate battle that could smoke a battle card would be really cool for Beerus, because it would allow Beerus to sit back and be the control tempo deck that I think it should be or could be. I think Beerus needs some help, because I do think that Beerus is a really cool deck, and I think it takes red in a different direction, but I don't think it has the cards to be that. Most people are trying to like play it kind of aggressive, and I think that if you want to play aggressive, you need a leader that draws for the most part, or awakens extremely fast, and red is at the mercy of the cards it draws to awaken super fast. If it sees Roshi, GG. If it sees 2 Roshi, GG. But otherwise, it's kind of rough. So that is my thoughts on red, and then we're at blue. Blue, I have 2 wants from blue, and I think that one of them is extremely likely. My 2 wants are, 1, a card that bottom decks any card, a red rock from One Piece, if you will. I think we're just past the time where you just need to keep looking at Broly. Now, I would take it if we got like an Awakening to Blue Light card, like a 2-cost card that bottom decked 5 or higher, 6 or higher. That'd be cool. But yeah, we just need a way to get rid of Broly as blue players. We need a way to get rid of anything over 5, and I think the deck is Gucci. Now that one is my hopeful. I'm not sure if they're ready to turn the corner on bottom decking good cards like that yet. However, what I think is very likely, because the colors that did not get a secret rare in set 1 were blue and yellow, is that we get a blue boss card worth running. Because Goku Black is nice, but Goku Black is both amazing and lackluster at the same time. It's hard to explain. He's a very good card when he lands, but it's not like he doesn't have double strike. He's bringing another body onto board. You have to have a low hand. We need a card that does a little bit more. We need a card that really does feel like a definitive finisher, and I think that the secret rare has the potential to do that. Now that we're seeing Vegito cards and Merge the Masu, I think the secret rare is like locked in. I think it would be weird, like, I did think that Sword of Hope Trunks was always an option, but at this point, seeing Zamasu and Vegito, it has to be one of those 2. It has to be Emerge Zamasu with the mutated grippy hand, or it has to be Vegito Blue. And Vegito Blue sells sets, and it would be kind of funny if it was Vegito Blue, because that was our first secret rare, I think, in set 2 of Master. So if we get a Vegito Blue secret rare here, that would be amazing. But that could be the boss card we need in blue. Once blue has a way to close out games, it's going to be significantly crazier because blue already can push just as hard as any other deck via combo power alone, making assured damage almost, and then shotgun on a nice boss monster. But also, once blue has a way to bottom deck high cost, and like I said, Awakening to Blue is giving me hope. If they can make a card like Awakening to Blue for yellow, blue hopefully has to get something. And if it gets something, we can look at a board where you can actually play a good tempo game and only have to out combo something like a Burly once before you can send that dude back to the bottom of the deck where it belongs. So that is those are my wants for the next set for Blazing Aura. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Let me know if you guys feel that this list would fix the metagame for the most part, from the current slight but very present underbalance that is here right now. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. We're still repairing the Patreon in credit shout out, and we're going to be doing kind of a new rollout of that once this article has chance to breathe and I see who joins up, because we've already had like 4 people join up just in the time I've been making this video. I've seen the notifications. So thank you guys for the support. Like I said, if you guys want to know way more about green, how to intimately build it, pilot it, face off against it, like, you guys will legitimately love this article. It is just under 30 pages. It's 29.5 pages of raw freaking content. So yeah, I'll be making an abridged-ish version of that later for videos, but for now we are just gonna make sure that we give the Patreon members something like, there is a giveaway that I am doing with 5 code cards per winner. I've got enough for 13 winners right now. If we can get more code cards, I'll from this point on just start adding more to each pool instead of just making more winners. But all that will be in the description for the Patreon. If you want to get product, you know, between Mystic TCG and America and G3 in Canada, you have links to both of those in the description with my codes. Just make sure you have your TCG product. And yeah, thank you guys for being a part of this. I will see you guys in the next video, article, post, wherever you want to see me. And we got some One Piece content coming up because I have a couple discussion pieces I want to talk about there. But thank you guys.